North Korea has now declared it may reconsider its upcoming summit with the United States if it is based on one-sided demands to give up nuclear weapons, which is what everyone thought it was about.
Well, the news comes in a week which has seen some extreme violence over the moving of the US embassy in Israel and fury from Iran after a decision to withdraw from the nuclear deal. So how much diplomatic prowess does Donald Trump actually have? Some people think that his bull in a china shop approach, though, can be surprisingly effective. And it looked like it had been effective with North Korea. But are we already seeing this beginning to unravel?
Well, look, I think this is just North Korea playing games, and I don't think it's going to get to Trump or to South Korea, and I still think we're going to see a summit. And everyone mocked Trump, everyone ridiculed Trump. They said he's going to cause World War III in the Korean Peninsula, and now people are looking at, I still think this meeting's going to go ahead. People are looking at a potential transformative meeting in Korean history. And also, the same people who criticized his approach with North Korea are saying he doesn't know what he's doing with Iran, he's going crazy with Iran, but I think when Trump applies the sanctions on Iran and Iran comes begging back to the table for a new deal, we're going to see those same people saying Trump deserves his second Nobel Prize when we get a long-term deal with Iran that also covers their ballistic missile program.
Was this an error by President Trump not to get the terms of the summit negotiated beforehand? And this is now North Korea negotiating those terms in public?
Yeah, that's actually a way of thinking about it. I mean, one of the problems with the Trump-Kim summit is there wasn't a lot of staff work that preceded it, right? The president decided 45 minutes after he was approached by South Korean envoys about this. That's when the president decided to do it. This wasn't run by his national security staff or the State Department or anything like that. And the whole thing has kind of been put together on the fly in the last couple of weeks, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of sort of moving parts, a lot of things that normally would have been nailed down by years of diplomacy and staff work. And all this is being sort of put together in this 9-week time frame. It's very, very rushed.
Even though North Korea is saying, actually, we're going to pull out, you're telling us that we've got to give up our nuclear weapons. What on earth do we get out of it? There's no point in doing it. It doesn't actually mean it's not going to go ahead.
Yeah, I still think it's probably going to happen for two reasons. I mean, basically, which is that basically the two leaders want it. The North Koreans desperately want to meet with an American president as a peer equal. They really want the sort of one-to-one photographs of a U.S. president shaking hands with their leader. It helps to ratify and legitimize North Korea as an independent state, as a real country, rather than the kind of Orwellian gangster fiefdom that it really is. This is critical for North Korea for legitimacy. And then Donald Trump, I think, really wants this too, because he likes the theatricality of it, he likes the flair, he likes the excitement and the drama that it generates, the television focus and the rest of it. So yeah, I think it'll still happen.
Trump, at the very least, appears to have brought people to a negotiating table, albeit it's looking a little precarious right now. Should he not be applauded, at least for that? Because he seems to have got further than his predecessors.
It's always been the American presidents who have said no. I mean, that's one of the sort of the big sort of things that's kind of upside down in this discussion about the president and Nobel Prize and the rest of it, because any American president could have met a North Korean leader, right? We are the ones who have always resisted that because we're concerned that it legitimizes North Korea as a distinct state, that it's sort of the same as South Korea, which of course is not true. Right now, if your benchmark is last year when people were, talking about nuclear war and stuff like that, then I guess the president should be applauded for at least moving beyond that.
Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize within months of taking office for landing the Iran deal, a deal that everybody now accepts was a pretty flawed deal, and Iran's nefarious behaviour throughout the Middle East, whether it's in Syria or Yemen or Iraq, seems to have carried on unabated. And yet he was a Nobel Peace Prize winner within a few months. If Trump was able to somehow pull off a deal with the North Koreans, would it not just be perfectly rational that he get the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, I would agree that Barack Obama didn't earn the Peace Prize either at the time. I think it was given to him as a political signal to signal European disapproval of George W. Bush. If Donald Trump manages to bring home a really good deal from Singapore, then I guess we could think about it. I mean, I would say that simply having a meeting isn't in itself a reason for a deal. But I will say so far that the terms that have been floated around the last couple of days about what the deal are pretty bad, to be honest. I mean, if you want to get into that stuff, we can. But I will say this, they're worse than the Iran deal.
All the tweeting, all the rhetoric, all the silly stuff he does, inflammatory stuff, it does detract when he wants to be taken seriously about serious things.
Well, surely there is a case to be made. Some of his tweets have detracted, but I also think, especially with North Korea, you know, they've served the purpose where Trump sent out the message. You know, we're going to bring fire and fury. We're going to bring, you know, rap like no one's ever seen. But he's also sent out peace messages on Twitter, and you let North Korea decide, you know, which one are they going to reply to. Very similar to the tactics seen in the Cold War. And also, back to the Korean negotiations, at the moment, you know, Trump also, let's keep in mind, he also brought home 3 Americans that were held captive in North Korea. I mean, for America's point of view and for our point of view, I mean, this is already a success, and, you know, it's already been momentous. And the North and South Korea announcing that, you know, they're ending their conflict, officially ending the war, is also a major step.
Getting a few viewers saying, don't we know this guy from somewhere?
Has he got the door closed?
And what security, given he's an expert in global security, what security measures have you taken to stop your young daughter bursting in the middle of your interviews?
My children are in kindergarten right now. It's 2:45 in the afternoon in Korea, and the door is locked.
Door is locked.
It was a great moment, and you handled it with great aplomb.
Frankly,
Mr.
I'm
Kelly,
disappointed.
yeah, we're all disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah, next time if you want. I mean, they're always there.
Invite them in next time.